day. It's Freedom Friday, shout hooray. Bradley J's got the mic today. Producer Ron tries, oh he sways to be less gay, just one more day. Phil Bell's groove and freedom's his jam. Big Gretch dreams, but we don't give a damn. Oh, freedom, sweet freedom. Ring that bell from the hills to the cities. We all yell, oh, sweet freedom. Can't you see? We're jamming for the red, white, and the free, Phil's our brother, he's the real deal. Loves his country, that's the appeal. Big ideas, big heart, Bill Will, rolling strong with the freedom zeal. Ron's clapping, Bradley's snapping, Phil's laughing, flags are flapping, stars and stripes, we're all high-fiving. Freedom's vibe, it keeps us thriving.
If you eat meat or if you don't eat meat, that is the question. But if you do or you don't, how likely are you to live to be 100? In other words, meat eaters versus non-meat eaters. Who is more likely to reach 100 years old?
You're talking about beef, though, right?
Meat.
Meat, just meat overall?
Meat?
Yeah, I would say more likely if you don't eat meat.
You would be absolutely... Oh, I really want to give this one to you. People who don't eat meat are less likely than meat eaters to reach the age of 100, according to a new study. This was done, of all places, in China. Who knew? And they have enough people that can experiment on them. The research tracked over 5,000 Chinese adults aged 80 and older who participated in the Chinese Longitudinal Healthy Longevity Survey. No indication whether or not Deuce 5 was part of that. We'll find out. That was a nationally representative study that began in 1998. Good grief. That's almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
By 2018, those following diets that don't contain meat were less likely to become centenarians compared with meat eaters. Almost seems like it flies in the face of everything we've been told during the course of our lives, doesn't it?
Yeah, I thought red meat wasn't good for you. A lot of red meat.
But who told us that?
Probably the government.
The chicken producer. Well, but why would the government want to tell us that?
Would you say the chicken
I'm thinking
producers?
it's the chicken producers.
Probably.
That's what I always heard is eat more chicken, eat more fish. Don't eat as much beef. Vegetarian diets have been consistently linked to lower risks of heart disease and stroke, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. But the problem is if you go back to the studies that the Heart Association did back in the, 40s, 50s, whenever it was, the Farmington studies, turns out that was bogus to some degree. You can look that up for yourself. But it's another lie. The study focused on adults age 80 and older whose nutritional needs differ markedly from those of younger people, which I still say cookies are going to be a staple until I'm 105, if I get that far. As we age, physiological changes alter both how much we eat and what nutrients we need. Energy expenditure drops. You sit on your ass more. Muscle mass, bone density, and appetite often decline. The shifts increase the risk of malnutrition and frailty. That's why you see so many old people slipping and falling and busting their bones. See, I avoided that because my bones are healthy. Knocking on something. Most evidence for the health benefits of diets that exclude meat come from studies of younger adults rather than frail older populations. Some research suggests older non-meat eaters face a higher risk of fractures due to lower calcium and protein intake. That's a simple thing. There's more protein, and that's the building block of life and bones. Study's findings reflect the nutritional challenges of advanced age rather than any inherent problems with plant-based diets. Crucially, this does not diminish the well-established health benefits of those diets for the youths of America. So, meat eaters unite. And the whole reason this came to mind because yesterday, the Deep Dive Thursday was over with Keith Malinak and Kelly for Freedom, and he brought up this the question: would you eat lab-grown meat I guess if it was the only food left on Earth? My answer was, of course I would.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Absolutely. If it was the only food left on Earth.
Why?
But if there's a cow out there running around, I'm finding it.
Would you not eat? Have you ever eaten lab-grown meat?
I don't know. Is the like the Impossible Burger? That's not lab grown, right?
No, it's vegetables.
Veggies? No, I don't think I have lab grown meat.
I haven't either. Would you try it?
Sure. Yeah. I'd try anything once. Within reason.
Uh-huh. Who gets to define what reason is?
No,
this is an image of, I think this is lab-grown versus real meat on the table. And they use, I guess they use different chemicals to create the marbling to make it look like there's the fatty deposits. And then I don't know if I had seen this before or not, but I discovered that there are 3D printers that will... And there's a company called Stakeholder. This is a couple of years old. This is from CNET. Does CNET still exist?
I think so. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if weren't they one of the
They used to have a TV show. I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah. TV is a thing of the past.
Yeah.
This is a 3D printer from a company called Stakeholder, I think.
Foods, another cultivated meat company, is pioneering a technique that combines 3D printing technology with cultured meat, where you can literally 3D print your own steak.
Yes, I am ready for the meat of the future.
So many questions. I'm ready for if a woman comes up to you and says that, what do you say? I've got your future meat right here. Sure.
What steak do I want? Do I want an entrecote, a picanha, a sirloin?
Okay, bouge. What the hell is an entrecote? Have you ever heard of those?
No. Sirloin.
I've heard of a sirloin.
Only
yeah.
one. Picanha. Picanha? Is that what you said?
I thought that was a fish that ate you. Oh, no, it's piranha. Sorry. Yeah. I've heard of I've never heard of either one. Apparently, I have not frequented a bunch of bougie restaurants in my life, I guess.
All right, we are going to choose entrecote, which is going to take 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, what the hell is entrecote? I've got to know. What is entrecote? Is that a cut of meat?
Entree, C-O-T-E, coat. Entrecote.
But I don't believe you pronounce the T, do you?
I don't know.
I think it's French.
Okay.
Entrecote is a premium French steak cut, traditionally taken from the rib area between the ribs, corresponding to a boneless ribeye, Scotch fillet, or sirloin. Corresponding to, known for its rich marbling and tenderness, it's typically pan-seared or grilled to medium rare, often served with fritas and a signature butter-based sauce. Now you know.
Right? I like a little bit leaner, so I'm going to do 30% that portion. Send it to print.
And here you go.
This is odd.
I mean, it's kind of trippy.
Oh, wow.
The machine is printing between muscle cells and fat cells for the ideal marbling for my steak. And it's wild to see.
That does not look, that's the problem is
going to be ready in about
it doesn't look appetizing.
No.
But then again, neither does going and staring at a cow in a field. I mean, if you go look at a cow, and certainly if you go watch what happens to the cow after they lead it off the field, but the time between being in the field and being on your plate, that doesn't look appetizing.
5 minutes, it actually takes about 2 to 3 weeks for the steak to mature before we can eat it. The cells inside the 3D printed steak need time to grow muscle fibers for it to stay intact.
Wait, hold on. Boy, you really have to anticipate your hunger level, don't you?
Shit. So you print the steak.
I'm going to be hungry in about 3 weeks.
Wait for 3 weeks. Yeah.
There's a flaw in this plan somewhere.
The cells have to mature, Brad.
again, is that it's because it sounds bull, but is that any different than watching a baby cow? It'd be a calf. And okay, you got to wait for those cells to mature. You can't eat it. Yeah. If you do, let's see. If you eat the baby calf is veal, right? Is that veal or is that lamb? I don't know. I just know I don't.
Lamb, right? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like. I know I don't like lamb. It tastes
don't either.
I don't know, gamey to me. And then which is why you have to put that damn meat jelly on it, or the mint jelly rather.
Yeah, no, veal is young calves.
Okay, and some say that is cruel because they can never get up and all of that stuff. So veal is technically, air quotes, cruel meat.
Process today that meat is
Which wasn't that your nickname in high school?
Cruel meat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Use for cow, for example, it takes 2 years to grow it. In these 2 years, a lot of emissions are extracted to the air. The cow drinks a lot of water. It eats a lot of crop. And then it's shipped from one place to another place and then slaughtered.
Right. I mean, okay, does that look any more or less appetizing than watching your meat get 3D printed? Not really. I mean, it's just what we're used to. No one wants to see the sausage made.
Cultured meat way, it takes us a few weeks to produce a steak with more than 90% less water. So it's much more efficient and much more sustainable to create meat in this way.
That looks like sushi. It looks like sushi or meat that was made from caviar, because it looked like a bunch of little fish eggs.
Yeah.
Which, who the hell was the first person to decide that caviar was going to be a good thing? Like, were they eating fish and then, whoa, here, look at all this. Oh, let's taste it. I mean, the same person that decided the egg was going to be edible. You ever had caviar?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
I mean, aside from the little, you get to pop them with your teeth. It's just salty. I don't know if it's rich and bougie because it's so rare to get it. In other words, what makes these rich people like caviar, or if they just like salt. But it's not all that great. But the lab-grown meat, again, is it any...
I was able to taste Stakeholder's hybrid meat product, which combines plant-based ingredients with cultivated beef cells that give it that unique meat flavor.
Pleasantly surprised by the texture.
I'm sorry, what? What
Pleasantly,
did she say?
Pleasantly surprised by the texture.
Oh, okay. She had her mouth full. I was like, what?
A ground beef consistency. I know it's plant protein with animal fat infused in. Mm-hmm. I can taste the beef. It totally mimics the real thing. And I would buy this. I would eat this. I'm eating it now. This is a thumbs up from me.
Okay. I like the Impossible Meat burger. The only, do they still sell it at Burger King? They did for a while.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about that, and I ate them, they're good. I just don't like that Burger King flame broiled,
smoky stuff.
Yeah, because it sticks with you for a while.
Yep, you get to enjoy that 3 or 4 hours later. But
what was the other one? Impossible Burger, and there was another one because
Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat, yeah. Was it Fridays used to sell that? I think. And I've had that one
Friday's
too.
Still around?
I don't know. It's not here anymore. They turned it into a Twin Peaks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're gone too. They just went tits up.
Yeah.
See what I did there? It's such a common phrase. Why do you have to be so common? Friday's restaurant. TGI closes 16 UK stores, 456 job losses. Formerly bankrupt restaurant chain announces major turnaround update. So TGI Fridays is still around. They're just not doing well. And then Twin Peaks. How do you F up
Twin Peaks?
Selling boobs and beer?
I don't know. Hooters did it too. How
do you possibly screw that up? It's such an easy. You want me to sell what? Okay. Twin Peaks Company files for bankruptcy. 114 locations to run as usual. Since the parent company files for bankruptcy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they're still around. So they've got a shot at reorganizing the cleavage, so to speak. So, but the lab meat, I don't know. I mean, it's, you know what, here's the problem I have. When as soon as they start telling you got to have it, that's when it's like, nope. It's like the nude beach to me. I'm fine being naked. Hubba hubba. But as soon as you tell me I have to be, nope. Clothes are staying on. And I mean, I just don't, it's a character flaw, I guess. I just don't like being told what to do. Well, there are some exceptions. If you want to join the program and tell us about your exceptions, the hashtag to use what I learned today over on the social medias in Rumble. We have the chat room there. Also, the First Amendment room over at thedailymojo.com. We're on YouTube as well, and I've been bad at checking on the folks on YouTube, all, 12, which is nice of you to be there. I mean, if you are new to the program, thank you for sampling us. We are better than cultured meat, some people say. Others don't. Man over in the Rumble chat room, Chenzo125 says, next we'll have food replicators using biomass to create food. On Star Trek, that's what they do.
Yep.
Which somebody else brought up another point about the new Star Trek series about the food, because they made some comment about the food. And somebody was complaining. I think one of the characters was complaining about the replicators, and it's like, what? It's it is what it is. I mean, you're eating meat. How would it taste any different as you're creating it? Is that different? Is that lab grown meat though?
I would think
if you have a replicator.
So, yeah, it would. Yeah.
Michaela's mom, I don't trust them to take their jabs, then I am not trusting their lab-grown meat. But it's not the government growing the meat, is it? I mean, it's it's private companies that are probably getting some sort of grant to do it. John says, I'm going to trust her. She looks like she's got a lot of experience with meat. Are we back to objectifying women? Is that where we have sunk? Dark Magneto, it won't get beyond my lips. Yep. How about just meat? I'm with you, Marine in the Woods. It's the, I tell you what will, well, it may or may not affect you, but when you drive through West Texas and you drive through the stockyards out there, woof, it is a sensory experience, mainly for your nose. I mean, it just, right? It just, ugh. There's nothing about
there's a lot of dairy cows out there too, and it's just
right. But it's muddy. Nothing that's dirty, appetizing.
Nothing that's appetizing. Yeah.
No,
it smells like
nothing about that.
Herd of cattle.
Smells like a stockyard, doesn't it? Yeah. And it smells that way for miles and miles and miles. But I don't have a problem with meat either. Nor does my colleague. Do you, Ron?
I do not.
You love the meat, don't you?
I love meat.
You love the meat.
I love meat.
I hear that. I hear that every day, how much Ron loves the meat.
Give me the meat.
Give you the meat. Let's see see if my ex is working today.
She's probably not.
I see what you did there. That was very, very nice. Now, I think they're probably both retired. Paid him enough. Wade Robertson said, makes me hungry. What, smelling the cow? Smelling the stockyard makes you hungry? All right. To each his own. Clock Tower Drunk. Thank you for the retweet of Mr. Nobody, because this is it's a bear. Well, I don't think it's real. I haven't investigated it yet, but you tell me what you think. This is a dude trying to feed a bear a McDonald's hamburger.
Soup. Нет.
Or some sort of, I guess, fast food. Maybe it's McDonald's.
Бургер.
That's McDonald's.
Хорошо, стоп. Мясо.
I mean, Bear's like, nah.
Открой.
Tom, open your
Tom,
mouth. Eat the
открой.
meat. Okay.
Мясо.
Stop putting the meat in my face.
Том,
How many times just today?
чё, блин, а?
Okay. Is this real? Because it looks real.
Давай иди.
It does look real.
Том,
That bear all that bear has to do is just get over him one day. I am pissed.
Yep.
One day.
Yep.
And the bear, you know what? The bear may love him to pieces, literally, but the bear may think he is just another bear. The problem is when bears play with each other, they can knock the crap out of each other, but the other bear is a bear, so the bear can take it. You, not being a bear, you get, love tapped by the other bear, and your head's going to fall off.
держи. На, держи.
Tom, hold the meat. I have so many questions.
Мясо давай, Том.
Come on, eat.
Мясо. Вот. Том, неправильно. Давай. Том.
I mean, we all want to believe that that's real, right? We all want to believe that humans and animals, we can Dr. Doolittle, walk with the animals, talk with the animals, be friends with the animals, go hang around with a bear. How much fun would that be? Bear's like, watch this. I'm going to go, see that deer over there? I'm going to go kill it. You're like, really? I bet you can't catch it. And you have fun. You and the bear talking, and meanwhile, the deer's looking back at you and go, what the dude? And we all want to believe that. But the fact of the matter is that is a bear. And I'm sure dude would say, but it is Tom the bear. Tom loves me. Tom and I go way back since he was a cub. All it takes is one bad day for Tom. One bad day. One.
Нет.
Нет. Hey, it's Russian. That answers a lot.
The bear's going to get pissed in a minute. Stop trying to hand me this shit.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's just a little grouchy. And just a backhand. And dude is going to be in pieces on the ground. They may have known each other since they were kids. Sir Rat Bastard says one day he will eat him. Yeah, because humans are tasty food. Well, do bears really like to eat? It's like, do sharks really like to eat humans? From everything we've been told, no. They really don't. They would prefer to eat a seal, which is why sharks a lot of times will come up with, and spit the person back out. Except for the ones that don't spit the person back out. And they end up being in the belly of the shark. Which, talk about a shitty way to go. Woof. That would not be fun, would it?
No.
Of all the fun ways I can think of to assume room temperature, not even in the top 10. See, over in the Daily MoJo chat room, Beach Girls over there, Lady Cougs, Curtis, California Cowgirls. Anybody remember Buck Rogers in the 21st Century Show? There was an episode that they food was little food discs. That their food was little food discs like cookies. You sure you were not thinking of Soylent Green? Because that's what they did in Soylent Green, which is the meme right above there. Thank you, Curtis. Would you eat people?
Not intentionally. Although if you and I were freezing in the north in a plane crash, we've talked about this, and you died before me, I would eat your ass in a heartbeat. I would cut it up in little bitty freaking strips. Oh, yeah.
Would you?
I would. And look, if it's between that
I
and
bet
dying,
you wouldn't.
I could gnaw on it for a while.
I don't think you would. I think that you'd have I think you'd have a big problem eating me.
You think?
I do. I think when it came right down to it, you would, because you'd overthink it.
I don't know, dude.
You would overthink it.
If I was starving and I didn't want to die, I might. You too.
Right,
you
I
would
hear
too.
Your voice.
Yeah, you would too.
I don't know if it came right down to it. I don't know. I saw this also for the first time, and we will talk to Phil Bell coming up here shortly. I saw, I don't know, did I not see this last year? This is from November.
I started to say that's been talked about since he went and got Maduro. And probably before, obviously, but.
Trump hints support. I swear, how did I either saw it and forgot it or didn't see it? I don't know how I missed it. But the headline at The Guardian, and this is from November, Trump hints support for fringe theory that Venezuela rigged the 2020 election. And part of, if you dig back down into now Dominion voting machines, where are they from?
Venezuela, right?
Nope. Canada.
Canada. Okay.
Canada.
By the way, we have breaking news real quick. Don Lemon was just taken into custody. That's all I know right now. I'll find it.
All righty. So Dominion Voting Machines or Systems, it was founded in Toronto, Canada, back in 2002. And
weren't there machines in Venezuela, though?
Here's where Venezuela comes in. Okay. They had the Smartmatic.
Oh.
Then Smartmatic was actually formed in it was formed in Florida in the year 2000. Remember that. In the year 2000. Oh, that seems like it was decades ago, doesn't it? It was formed in Florida, Smartmatic was, by Venezuelan-born individuals. So there's your Venezuela connection to Dominion and Smartmatic. They are competing companies. No ongoing partnership or technology. And it was Dominion that... it was Dominion that sued Fox, right? And Fox ended up paying a bunch of money and firing Tucker Carlson, even though they swear that wasn't part of the settlement. But this whole situation with Venezuela and Maduro and going and getting him and being, I mean, again, kudos to all of our military men and women and the fact that they were able to get in and get out with no one hurt. And I don't think that any of the paint got chipped on any of our equipment. I did it? I don't think so. And so how do you do that? Unless maybe you've got a little cooperation from the inside. I'm not saying that they're not capable of doing that, but I'm just saying it would make a lot of sense if this is...
Well, I think they did say
anything to this,
that there was some cooperation from Maduro's inside group. I think they were feeding them information. So,
you think maybe Maduro knew about that? Was like, you think maybe Maduro was the one who was actually coordinating the efforts from within?
Could be. A lot of people have said that he was in on it. That he was too relaxed when they picked him up and brought him back.
And they don't usually take the wife, do they? We didn't with what's his face? Who we take? Noriega.
I think they did arrest her, but then let her go. Noriega's wife. But
did they when they went and got him, they picked her up too?
I think it was after the fact. I think we read that a couple of days later they picked her up, but they ended up letting her go. But on Maduro's wife, wasn't she just as culpable as he was? That's kind of the reason they picked her up, I think.
No, Celia Flores, yeah, I guess they did. Well, U.S. seized Flores and Connect, blah, blah, blah. Noriega surrendered to U.S. troops who'd surrounded the Vatican embassy in Panama City. Good grief, that was... Holy crap. Do you know how long
89
ago?
or 91, right?
That was almost 40 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, time just flies right on by, doesn't it? It keeps moving. It doesn't matter who you are. It just keeps flying right on by. And if you have not, where is it? Where'd she go? There. If you haven't moisturized this year, you do. You know what you do? Moisturize. That's all I'm going to say. Just moisturize. I'm not going to I'm not going to get heavy-handed. I will get soft-handed with you, though, and say that, didn't Val say she was going to send me more of the vanilla mint when we talked to her?
I think so.
Didn't she hint that she was sending more? She was like, hey, that looks empty. I should send you. And I was like, yeah, you should.
It is empty.
So,
look at that.
Val, I'm not, no pressure, but it's not filling itself up. That's all I'm going to say. Someone get Val on the phone. And where are those pictures I asked for last week? I'm out of these dead dog dedications. All right, so we have Phil Bell coming up. By the way, that's smellmymojo.com. I guess I should tell you that. Smellmymojo.com, and if you use the promo code DailyMojo, you get 15% off your purchase. It's all at smellmymojo.com.
Sun's burning down on this 9-to-5 grind. Clock's ticking slow like it's messing with my mind. Boots scuff the floor, feel the weight of the day. But that whistle's gonna blow and I'm on my way. Almost Friday, I can taste the night. Cold beer in my hand, stars shining bright. Got a fire in my chest and my head held high. Almost Friday, feeling so alive.
You know where to find us. TheDailyMojo.com.
Look at this. There's another one. This is hard to comprehend. She, and when I say there's another one, all you have to do is you look at her and guess what she is.
A teacher.
Yep. What was she doing?
Diddling boys.
Yep. 15-year-old, I believe, was her game of choice on this one. And so she is, I think she's in New York. Well, I've discovered how badly I love the New York Post site. I just hate the New York Post site because it is just, seriously, if you...
Is it good information but too many ads?
Oh, if you know how if you hover over a Chrome tab, it'll tell you how much memory that particular tab is sucking up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The New York Post tabs on Chrome, if you hover over them, you will discover that they are sucking up somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 gigabytes of memory. I mean, it is astonishing how badly they can slow down your computer. But I like the New York Post content. Anyway, so she is so I learned, here's this fix to that, because I did learn a fix. Open it in reading mode. And all you do is any tab you open up on, and you can do this with any website, you just write, or on a Mac, you two-finger it.
Yeah.
And there's a drop-down, and it says open in reading mode. You do that, and it will not suck up all your resources. So you're welcome. But yeah, another teacher up there in New York with a 15-year-old. Then we have another. That's her. He looks normal, right? That's her husband. There she is. She does not look happy. That's her in court. And then because she's got to register as a sex offender now for 10 years, I believe. So, was it worth it? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Then we have her. She seems nice, right?
Yeah, but her mugshot is homely.
What? Are you saying that doesn't look like that?
No. Look at that.
Is that the same thing you say about me when I wake up in the morning and you look at me and you're like, whoa?
That's after you throw them in the pool. Isn't that what you say? Throw them in
the pool. You throw them in the pool and wash them off. See what you got. See what you're dealing with. I don't see why that's a bad thing.
Wow.
I mean, isn't it false advertising? You meet that.
And you get that.
You throw them in the pool and that's what comes out. It's like, whoa, hang on a second. I'll throw you back in there for a minute. I don't think the detergent took. And she kind of has that Debbie Downer look on her face.
Now, I've seen this one. Was she doing kids too? I don't remember.
Wow. And, no, she was not.
Okay.
Was she doing kids too? Nope, she was not. Where the hell is the oh, there it is right there. Sorry. No, she that is I got tired of the usual sad trombone, so that is AI's new attempt at a new sad trombone. She stole some stuff. Where is the I can't find my mouse. Where is the damn there it is. She stole some stuff.
Is this the woman that was stacking at Walmart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, so you just, when next time you're walking down the street and you see somebody, you think, well, she sure has it all together, doesn't she? Guess what? Behind the scenes. Be thankful for what you have.
Well, the fact of the matter is she got away with it once, and then she went, this is too easy to do. So let me try it multiple times now.
The great theologian Sheryl Crow once said, it's not, remember what she said?
I do not.
It's not about having what you want. It's about wanting what you have.
There you go. Okay.
See, even she can be deep on occasion. So, yeah, we do have more details. Ex-CNN host Don Lemon arrested finally for the Minnesota church invasion. And
they got him. He was covering the Grammys. He was covering the Grammys, and they picked him up there.
Surprise! Ta-da! Hey, Don, there's somebody to see you. Is he hot? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. I think he's wearing a suit. He was covering the Grammys, the unprecedented attack on the First Amendment, transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing his administration will not stand. This was said by Lemon's attorney. That's what the Don Lemon attorney is. It's a attorney. Abby Lowell. He also represented, if you think the name is familiar, you know who else he has in his client roster? You got this one. Come on.
Hunter Biden.
Come on. You know what? I am so happy to give you this one, but I just can't.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry. It was Hunter Biden. We were looking for Hunter Biden. Not immediately clear what charges. I believe they meant charges. He's facing, however, he has been accused of violating the Enforcement Act of 1871. Isn't that back when blacks were slaves? I'm pretty sure that's back when blacks were slaves in 1871. That's why they got him on this one. Bans interference with certain civil rights, such as voting or serving on juries, or in this case, the right to practice one's religion. So we got him on an act from 1871. Isn't that cheating?
It might, and it's likely not to stand. I mean, I think what they wanted to do was just embarrassing.
Also known as the
Save Act.
What Act? Anybody? Begins with K and ends with K. There's a K in the middle.
Oh, the KKK Act. Yes.
Well, how'd you know that? Just from the clue I gave you?
Yes.
Originally created to prevent the racial terrorist group from their paramilitary vigilantism. So there you have it. So Don Lemon in custody. And no word on whether or not he's been strip searched or has requested a strip search or is requesting. Do you get to choose who your bunkmate is in prison?
I don't think so.
You sure? You sure about that?
I don't know, honestly, but I don't think
so. We'll ask Phil Bell when he joins us next on the Daily Mojo. How's that?
Taste the honey sauce. Like I like it. Ooh, yeah. This is the Daily Mojo Friday.
If you've not yet downloaded the Daily Mojo app, we would kindly request that you do so at your earliest convenience. The reasons are multiple. And Ron will give you the first 3 reasons you need to do it. Go.
Well, first of all, we can do announcements and let you know what's going to be happening, what's going on. There's a lot of information on the app that you might need as a listener of the program. A lot of information, actually. You can get to our show. You can listen live. You can listen in replay.
Could win $1 million.
They could win $1 million.
Yeah. Not from us. I mean, but in theory, you're not disqualified from winning $1 million anywhere by downloading the Daily MoJo app.
Correct.
So you could, in theory, download the app and win $1 million. You are not prevented from doing so once you have the app. So that's reason enough right there. I think it's that time.
Is it?
Hold on. I believe it is. Hold on. I've got there's too many damn buttons. Too damn much confusion.
Get on board Phil's Freedom Train.
Yeah, baby.
Here it is. Get some.
Feel that joy again. Hands up high. Let go of the pain. Get on board Phil's Freedom
Phil Bell. Phil Bell.
Hey.
Phil Bell.
Get on board Phil's Freedom Train.
Thank you. Yes.
Wait, Brad, can I point something out?
I wish you would.
Don't just download the app. You've got to enable the notifications, because that way, if you're the winner of the $1 million, you won't know.
Right.
Unless the notification
true.
comes through. It's like, hey, you won the $1 million.
That is absolutely correct. See, Phil Bell for the win, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for that. And also, let's see. Hold on a minute. Okay, so we do. It is... sometimes we get a last minute sponsor, and yesterday I don't know if anybody noticed, but we've got a new club here at the motel. It's called BJ's. They borrowed, and it's from my name, Bradley J. And so apparently they have a new spot, and they're sponsoring Phil.
Remember to stop by BJ's tonight after work.
Sounds like Betty.
If you're not headed home, we'll make it worth the effort. 2 for $1 from 9 till midnight when you use the promo code. That's right.
Whoa.
Just stop in and say, and you'll leave a happy man.
Wait.
Or woman, no matter how you identify. BJ's is right down the hall from the Dirty Turtle Bar and Grill and the Splooting Squirrel, where you can lay your troubles flat out on the ground.
Okay, all right.
I'm Betty from accounting. I'll see you tonight at BJ's. Bye, boys.
Did we get that cleared through legal?
Who cares? Who cares?
Betty from Betty from accounting. Yeah. She's got it going on, does she not? Those are just the engineers down the hall. They like Betty. So anyway, so stop by BJ's.
Yeah, this is great. You know, having sponsorship on this segment, that's really cool. And Betty, if you're out there, I can't wait to see you. Want to talk about some first in, first out accounting. I'm sure that's going to be exactly what the discussion is. You know, FIFO, LIFO, there you go.
Here's the thing about the issue with people like Betty and the first rule of radio. Ron, would you like to tell Phil what the first rule of radio is?
I have no idea, Phil. I'm sorry. Okay. But Brad does. Brad,
and you call yourself a radio guy. The first rule of radio is on the phone when the caller calls up. If they sound smoking hot,
put them on the air. Oh.
No, they aren't. Good grief. Have you ever worked in a radio station, Ron Phillips?
Oh, man, I was always putting them on the air. Trust me.
Uh-huh. Did you ever meet him?
No.
Yep. Uh-huh. At least that's a story you're sticking to right now. But you don't ever agree to meet them. And number two, if you do ever agree to meet them, see, it's different now because everybody's got social media, so you can do a little pre-investigation, a little recon work. But back in the day, you had to say, all right, I'll meet you at whatever restaurant, and I'll be wearing a black jacket, and I'll be, have green pants on, whatever it was. You describe something, and then you would wear a white jacket and you'd wear blue pants, and you'd be sitting in the corner waiting for them to walk in so you could do it's like, oh, nope. And if Large Marge walked in, not your but if Large Marge walked in, you were like, oh, I'm out of here. Not Big Gretch, don't confuse her with Large Marge. But so yeah, it's these are the rules. And Ron, I'm surprised that you didn't know that first rule of radio.
But now, Ron, we got to ask Brad, did you ever have one of these experiences? Did you
he did. He speaks. He speaks too well about it. He knows.
I am sorry, but those records have been sealed by court order. I would. It's not that I don't want to tell you. I just am forbidden by law to speak of them.
That's it.
Of course.
On the air.
Yeah.
However, if you want to meet later down at the Squirrel or at BJ's, I may have a story or two to tell you about Ron.
Nice.
Okay. There you go.
just so you know. All right. So, what do we? I want to get to. You want to do Alex Preddy first, or do you want to talk about the shutdown first? It's your call, dealer's choice.
Well, let's talk about the shutdown, but I want to say something about the last segment. I just have a question about it. Seriously.
Yes.
Why is it? Because I know we ask this all the time, but I feel like I need to ask it again. Why is it that you have all of these women who want the teenage boys? The one from Washington State, she was married to a pretty successful attorney, apparently. So successful that after she had the affair with the 17-year-old, he moved them, not including the 17-year-old, but moved the family to Idaho and bought another house. Now, maybe it's because he's a pushover, but I can't understand why, if we're always saying, oh, well, women are out for the money and the power and the this and the that. All right. So what is the appeal there?
I don't, and this is and for some reason I was thinking she was in New York, but you're right. She was in Washington State. The headline: Sicko teacher sent student nauseating text. It's also going to be who judges the text on whether or not they're nauseating. Before they had depraved. Well, I mean, seriously, this headline: before they had depraved hours-long sex marathon.
Typical post. I love it too, by the way, but typical post.
It's just, I mean, and she's not unattractive. I mean, she may be one of those because when she opens the mouth, the score may go way. She may owe points after the pie hole opens. But I mean, by all accounts, she's an attractive woman. It's like what made it worth the risk for her?
Right. Now,
I think that would be there in the headline.
I will say, I don't find, a lot of, she was 23, he was 17. I don't even think that's an illegal relationship where it is. But of course, the problem would be the fact that she's the teacher and he's in school.
Yeah.
But again, you would think if what the basic logic is, she would say, wait, I've got this husband at home and I think they had kids and everything else. Why would I even consider this? And what would the benefit be?
Yeah. Yeah. As far as the age difference, no, you're right. And he could be turning 18 tomorrow. We don't know.
Right.
But yeah, so it's not the age difference, as you said. It's the fact that it's the teacher, student, and just because, and again, you have to know what the rules are to know when to break them. The teacher student thing. I never had a smoking hot teacher like that either. Not one in my entire school career. I can't think of one teacher that was smoking hot like that. But they're different these days. But you are rolling the dice when you do that as a teacher, as a person who is married and has a career, and I guess you just think you're not going to get caught. I guess that's the mindset.
That's got to be it. And if you're the student, to me, when I was in high school, it was bad enough when you knew, all right, there's Jessica. I'm going to ask her to the homecoming dance. Half the time you're thinking, look, this is how I'm going to get out of it when she says no. Well, what would happen when you go up to Mrs. Smith or Mrs. Robinson? Mrs. Robinson.
Right.
I just could not imagine what the outcome's going to be. Well, what are you going to do? Right after class is over, you wait for everybody else to walk out. Hey, do you want to? No, I don't even get it.
So you just give her the nod. Dude, you give her the nod that Ilhan Omar gave the guy in the front row. Just the slight nod.
Or her brother.
Thank you. That was just that was a buzzkill. Right? What? So, since I brought her up, do you think that was a setup? Do you think that that was staged?
I do. And there's two reasons. Number one, a few days earlier, one of the nurses, the infamous trio of nurses, right, had gone on the internet and talked about getting a syringe and putting stuff in the syringe so that they could inject it into people that would make them, something, cause some kind of problem, injected with ice agents and whatnot. And then a couple of days later, you have this guy that has a syringe and it's apparently apple cider vinegar. Now, like, what was the goal? So you're going up there, you're going to try to inject her with it or spray it at her or do whatever. I think there is definitely a setup. And you got to remember, there is nothing that is identifying about somebody or for who they support and who they vote for, unless they decide to put on a jersey, or a hat like I do and say, this is who you support. So you get anybody and say, all right, you, Bob, are going to be a Trump supporter, and I want you to do this and come out here. Here's a few dollars. There you go. I believe that far more than I believe this guy's just like, I have got to attack Ilhan Omar.
The report that we read yesterday, remember that, Ron? Well, they went back to 1989. They're like, he had several parking citations in 1989 as well. Like, really?
Oh, yeah, they were giving us his rap sheet, his vicious rap sheet.
He was, and he got a DWI, and what was the other one? Something he drove on an expired registration or something. It was like, whoa, this guy watch out for him. Don't meet him in a dark alley. And you know what she didn't do when she got schnizzed is she never looked down. The first thing you do, I mean, I would, if you get sprayed, but the first thing you do is look at it. It's like, what the hell just happened? She never does that. She locks at him and follows him. And it just, why? But why would she do it? I guess that's the question. What was she hoping to accomplish?
Well, keep in mind, everything the left does, especially the left's actors and actresses, because they have a lot of them over there, is they have to absolutely control every minute of the narrative. And the thing that they always had success with until relatively recently was painting us as being way out there and crazy. Oh, well, they don't even believe in paying taxes. Well, we believe in paying taxes, just not as much in the way that you want them to be, right? That was always the difference, but you can't have that conversation. So that's why they always love to dwell on school shootings. They don't care about the children. They want to abort the children. If it was up to them, most of the children wouldn't be there in the first place. But suddenly they care about school shootings. Why? Because it's always an opportunity to go out and say, well, hey, those guys believe in guns and look at what guns did. So this is why they would do it. What can we do to paint not ICE agents, not the president, but people like Brad Staggs, Ron Phillips, and Phil Bell as being the worst people out there that you need to be afraid of? That's why they do it.
Yeah, and they did not. And I think it's pretty obvious, the person that they did not condemn or have much to say about when it came to a gun was Alex Preddy. And him showing up at the protest, use that in quotes, armed. And then we get the video that was released yesterday, and people are like, "Do you still think what you're thinking about him?" I think my take on it still holds. I still think he thought he was fighting Nazis. He believed that down to it, because in this video, and I'll go ahead and play some of this here, and there is it's language warning because we're not going to beep it.
Movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Preddy interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat, and he walks away.
So,
the man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Preddy was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband.
So and it goes on for another minute and a half. But so he was the first time he had brought a gun to a protest, which again, not smart. But again, if you think you're fighting Nazis, it's for self-defense, I guess. He was apparently known to the ICE agents, so they likely maybe had a file on him. Right. Does that change anything as far as you're concerned, what we see here?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say, and this will be controversial at first, I think the agents were in the wrong in that video for one reason. Why is it that he was not in the back of some kind of a law enforcement vehicle going to jail right then? I got to tell you, I am probably the least fan of government that you're ever going to meet. The last thing that I've ever thought of doing is like, hey, I don't really like those guys giving me a ticket. Let me go kick their taillights out. That'll be a really smart thing to do. You know, he should have been arrested right then. And hey, who knows? Maybe if he was arrested, he might not have actually been shot later. Now, I think that he absolutely was known to them, and it just goes to further show what was going on. The idea that, oh, well, he was a nurse who wanted to go assist this woman who's being pepper sprayed. First of all, she deserved to be pepper sprayed because of what she was doing, and she did not need any kind of assistance. And secondly, nothing that he was doing has anything to do with assisting, except assisting her in harassing the agents. And this shows that he was doing it multiple times. Now, I want to ask one other question. How is it that this guy who's supposed to be a nurse and cares for people has all this time to go follow ICE agents around? How do any of these people have all this time to go follow ICE agents around? Are they getting leave from their work from home jobs? No, that's a question that needs to be asked, because we need to know who's actually behind it and who is allowing them the freedom to do this.
Was he getting paid? And we don't, I don't know that there is a way to know that other than, sorting through his checking accounts. But it's, I think that first of all, he did seem to still care about people. And again, if he felt he was fighting the Nazis, again, that aligns with that behavior. That's the problem. They really do think that they're living in a delusional world where they do believe that these ICE agents are Nazis. I think that's the starting point, and that's the problem. And I don't know how you get them out of that world, because you have enough people on the left who use them as useful idiots. That's the ironic thing. Remember how they used to say that everybody who listened to Rush Limbaugh was a mind-numbed robot?
Right.
It was like, right? I was like, wait a second, hold on a minute. And now I fully understand why they said that, is because that's what they were doing. The left is very good at programming these people who are, I don't know if they're just more susceptible to buying into whatever, but it does appear that way, that they'll believe just about anything.
Well, I think part of the problem is there are some people there that they want to be programmed. And so think about in your life.
Yeah.
You're at work and you're dealing with your boss, or you're dealing with a coworker, and they'll just start to repeat the same thing to you, no matter what type of reason that you give them. Well, I was late because of the snow. Well, you were late. Yes, I was late because of the snow and I couldn't get out, well, you were late, that kind of thing. Now, a thinking person would say, look, I'm not happy the fact that you showed up late several times this month, but this time I get it. It was a big snowstorm, so I'm going to let that go. But the robot, the person who wants to be programmed, will just repeat it over and over again. You can't deal with them. And Trump actually talks about this in, I think it is The Art of the Deal, but I got to be sure. Oh yeah, it is the art of the deal. And he talks about the machine, and people who are machines, you just can't deal with them. And that's who these people are. They just want to be programmed, and that's why they are so susceptible to left-wing thought. Because remember, even Rush, what did Rush do? He played the other side, so you heard it. You had to think.
Yeah.
You couldn't just agree.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it's, again, they're not going to stop this. They are waiting, and unfortunately for them anyway, the two people who are no longer with us, which I think is a tragedy. It's too bad that they are dead. Nobody wants to see people die like that. But if either one of them had been black, we'd be in a different situation now. They're still hoping for the black victim because, man, once that happens, if that happens, it's George Floyd on steroids. It will be, we ain't seen nothing like what they will do with that situation. Do you not think?
And I agree. I think they want either a black person or a Hispanic illegal alien. That I think that would really be the goal, is they want an illegal alien to be hurt or killed or something like that, preferably a woman. And then that way they can go out and say, well, hey, wait a minute. Not only are they removing good people from our society, but look at so-and-so. She just worked hard to clean houses and, of course, had no upward mobility because that's where we want her. But forget that.
Right.
But she was killed by those evil ICE agents. Well, there's one more slave. Oh, sorry. Good person that we don't have. Now let's go riot. That's what I think is really their goal. Either that or preferably a Somali, I guess, in their case.
Right. And the trouble is there's no brown persons matter, Brown Lives Matter organization. There's, if the Black Lives Matter organization, because they won't get out there, the BLM folks won't get out there in support of a brown person.
Right.
I don't think, because haven't they tried to draw the line? It's the blacks versus the browns, and they really don't get along.
Well, I think it depends on how much money is coming in, because we learned, if anything, with BLM, the only thing that mattered was how much money that was going to them and what they were willing to do. And of course, they took the money. By the way, we do not do enough press on, I think it's Patrisse Cullors and some of the other people who are part of BLM,
just about
and
to
all
ask
the money
her.
that they took for to buy themselves houses and take trips and do everything else. They didn't even take it and do the veneer of helping any blacks except themselves. So I think if you had Soros and Hans-Jörg Wyss and a lot of the others who are supporting a lot of this say, okay, hey, listen, BLM, we need you to go out here and do it, and here's a big check of X amount of million, that's when you would see them go out.
So Patrisse Cullors stepped down from management in 21. And I just saw where she sold her house, I guess in October. She and her wife sold their house in wherever it was. They had a multi-million-dollar. Well, I think so. They sold their home as the there's been battle being blah blah. So she's not the manager of BLM anymore, but I guess she still works for the organization or with it. But it looks like they're concerned the DOJ might be targeting them, and so they're trying to divest themselves of a bunch of assets. She's 42. 42 years old.
Why doesn't she go illegally immigrate somewhere? I mean, isn't there some country like Canada that would just love to have, some nice people who can go over there and just cross the border? Just do that. Don't even ask. Just roll right on it.
I'd forgotten about this. Remember, they bought 4 different houses. They bought 4 high-end properties, $3.2 million. Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah. We need meeting space. Okay.
Yeah. They've got a $1.4 million house in Topanga Canyon. Seriously, are there any openings over at BLM? Because I'm thinking, man, they're paying well right now. Maybe I can go over there and can you get me hooked up? You know them, right?
Well, you would think that all black people. Remember, I ain't black. Joe Biden said specifically, I ain't black.
I keep forgetting.
And after that weird thing, they had someone come over and they had these really big scissors and they were like, "Sir, black card, please." Cut it up right in front. I mean, it was.
Did they do that in front of you? That was just mean. I mean, good grief. No heart whatsoever. That is horrible. All right, I got to create a little hole here, and then we will move on to. I don't know if we need to panic because of the shutdown, but we'll see. Coming up on the Daily Mojo.
The Daily Mojo, making mornings bright. With Brad and Ron, they keep it funky tight. Yeah. News, laughs, and the moves that feel so right. It's the Daily Mojo, keeping the world in sight.
We'd like to say hi to any government agency monitoring this broadcast. You know where to find us. TheDailyMojo.com.
I cannot find anywhere that has a comprehensive account of what Patrisse Cullors is doing right now. She did finally admit in 2022 that she admitted that she was using the BLM mansion for personal use, and she did it in an interview with Ebony Magazine. Go figure. So she spoke about Compound Studio City. Good grief, that their house in Studio City has 6 bedrooms and bathrooms, a swimming pool, a sound stage, and office space. Man.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. All right, Brad, let's try something. Let's all make, me, you, and Ron, let's make our own BLM shirts and just go over and knock on the door and be like, yeah, look, Black Lives Matter. Okay, so we want to film our podcast here. Maybe, maybe live back there too. I mean, we're down for the struggle.
That would be, yeah. I mean, I'm sure she's getting some kind of a tax break out there in Cali as well. So I'm down for it. All right, so today is Friday. It is the 30th day of January. Good grief, how did that happen so quickly? And is the government shutting down today?
Well, it is possible. So the effort yesterday was to take the DHS funding out of so that was one bill, and to pass the other 5, and that way they would avert it. Now, it looks like there's been some kind of a snag. Haven't heard anything yet today about that. Now, I'm a little split on it because I do believe that the DHS funding should go forward because we should not be giving any kind of quarter to Democrats on this. They want to obviously change the way that ICE and Border Patrol are working. But a lot of the funding, from what I understand, for what President Trump wants to do overall was included in the One Big Beautiful Bill. So that's not being impacted here. So I'd say there's probably a 70 to 80% chance that there will be some kind of a shutdown, but not anything so prolonged as it was last year. I will say this, though. The only problem with the shutdown last year is that Speaker Johnson did not go bring the House back into session for much of that shutdown. And that was something that irritated Marjorie Taylor Greene. And although she's not on my Christmas card list anymore, I think she was right about that. They should have been in session. Congress should come back, regardless of what, whether or not the Senate wants to pass the legislation.
She did not do herself any favors by doing what she did, and especially Punta Gorda. Where did she end up going? Somewhere in South America, and then sending a postcard with her on the beach. Hey, having a good time. Wish you were here. But a lot of people were like, "Hey, you've got to take care of you now. We appreciate everything you did."
That made me so mad. Not her specifically, but the responses. Because when she was saying, felt like a battered wife and all of that, she was the head of the Doge committee in the House. There was so much that she could have been leading right there from her vantage point. So much of what she is complaining about, she could have been driving toward the solution that she and so many of us wanted. But instead, she said, I'm not happy. I'm going to leave. This is why it's so important. And everybody out there, do not become wrapped up in the person, no matter how good they are. Stay wrapped up in the ideas and issues.
What do you think she's going to do? I mean, what's your pontificate? What do you think she's going to do?
I think she tries some kind of a political comeback in the future and that the comeback fails. Because for all of the people who are out there who are, oh, yeah, we're kind of sympathetic to you and whatnot, it's going to be another ball game when she's got to go out and raise money and talk to people like you and me who say, well, wait a minute, you had so much promise. Why did you let it get away? And the fact that even in spite of her, even in spite of reduced House majorities, we've continued to have success is proving her wrong. And that's important. She was right on so many things, but she's being proven wrong on her action. And that's why I think it doesn't get out of the gate.
You think she just got butthurt by Trump dissing her?
I think she got too, I think she forgot the role of a representative. She got too full of herself and did not focus on doing the nuts and bolts of what it would have taken for her profile to be congruent with who she wanted to be.
She was handed a lot. I mean, she had it all in the palm of her hand, and for whatever reason, man, it's amazing. And maybe the pressure was just too much, because that does come with a lot of pressure, being there, having all of that at a moment's notice.
Well, let me give you an example. So back at Freedom Works, we had a big space in the downstairs. I don't know if you ever saw the downstairs, but when Nancy Pelosi would not let House Republicans meet, they came over to Freedom Works and they met. Now, was this necessarily official actions and everything else? No. But Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying she was upset with the House being out of session for so long. Well, why didn't she call her fellow Doge committee members, get together at some place off the Hill and meet and talk about some of these things? And yes, get the press together. Get your plans for what the legislation is going to be that you'll introduce. There is nothing illegal or improper about that. When the House came back into session, she could have had a raft of legislation not only ready to go, but having had the concepts discussed with fellow House members and even members of the Senate so that they could have gone ahead and take action on that. Why wasn't she willing to do something that we know they're already able to do? And if she cares so much, do it. That's conservatism.
Yeah. And maybe she's just old and tired. I know I am. All right. So back to the, this life is exhausting. Back to the government. See the shutdown here, the 12 appropriations bills, DHS, DOD, Labor, Health and Human Services, Education, Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development, HUD, which if they went away, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. Financial Services and General Government, State Department, related national security programs. Those are the 12 bills that make up, or the 12 areas that make up the total budget, right? Those are the All right, and are we ever going to see? I mean, it's getting laughable at this point that we just have these CRs. Is this the future?
Well, this is. I think this is a real budget because it's passing all the bills, and I think it's close as we're going to get in a while. So that's actually a positive development. And I actually do not have a problem with if they decide to pass all the bills and then the Democrats are able to torpedo the DHS. You know why? Because that will be outstanding to go out, look through our records to find those voters who were really enthusiastic about immigration enforcement and say, hey, they voted against that right here. Do that as the midterms are coming up, because that's a surefire way to make some districts that can swing either way to swing in our direction. So I think in a way this is going to end up being a positive if it's played right.
And so you don't think we'll see a shutdown tonight? Because when is the deadline? Is tonight midnight, right? Officially,
No, I think we will see. I think we'll see one, but it won't be for very long, and it won't be very impactful. The reason the other one, because keep in mind, if it happens tonight, they're not really going to be able to make a lot of hay over the weekend because most people are out enjoying their weekend, or at least trying to enjoy their weekend. A lot of people who've been shut in because of all the snow are going to be getting out in some way. So I think it has less impact. And the other thing is Democrats have really, really driven this themselves. So they can't say, well, it's Trump's fault. It's them driving it. And this is another example of Democrats, again, driving their own shutdown and not even successfully saying that they want to blame it on Trump.
Right. And speaking of money and Trump, looks like he has nominated Kevin Warsh, or as they say in Massachusetts, Wash. See what I did there? As usually they say Warsh. Anyways, as Kevin Warsh, the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And is this good, bad? Does it make a difference? Why do we still have the Fed? All of those questions wrapped into one.
Well, you asked the right question right there. Why do we still have the Fed? We don't need it. And I think this is, I'm gonna give an answer that is not one of your options. It's a push. I think it's a push because keep in mind, Kevin Warsh was the youngest ever Federal Reserve governor. So he's already been on the board. He is very much steeped in the tradition of the Federal Reserve. A lot of the conservative economists that I've talked to like him. They like him and like Kevin Hassett as being potential leaders of the Federal Reserve. And I think both of them would be good from that standpoint in that they do see things our way, except that they also believe that the Fed should exist and that interest rates should be somewhere above zero. So I don't know if we're going to get the relief that we're hoping for, but I do think he will be better than Jerome Powell.
5 fun facts about Kevin Warsh. Thank you to the Grok Man. He became the youngest Fed governor in history, 35 years old in 2006. Number 2, his wife is a cosmetics billionaire heiress. So he knows a thing or two about money. Yeah, Estee Lauder. She's the granddaughter of Estee Lauder. She's a high-ranking executive at the family company. Right, a woman executive, sure. But you go ahead, she plays an executive at work. He grew up playing competitive tennis. He was, come on, I'm just hoping somebody just lob something in here. Anything. Huh?
Hold on. What's going to happen if I'm not able to get my foundation or concealer? See, they're going to cut us off because of this. And then they might have to see my real face. And I don't know, man.
Throw you in the pool, wash you off.
That's right.
Let's see. Let's see. What does she look? Okay. I mean,
yeah,
she's not horrible. She is, yeah. I mean, I would say average.
Yeah.
Because that is the question everybody wants to know. Is she hot? She's average. She's
right.
What's Michael Bay, Michael Dell, not Michael Bay. What's Michael Dell? Susan Bell.
Susan Bell, yeah. Yeah.
She's no Susan Dell. Yeah. But because that's all we're missing. Susan Dell. That's her name, isn't it? Yeah. She's no Susan Dell. Is she real? She's a robot, isn't she? Come on. Are they still trying to play her off as a real human being?
I think she's real, but you never know. Could have been assembled at Roswell. That's the thing. Everybody thinks it's just the aliens down there. But how do you know there's not something else?
That's absolutely true. And look at the Reddit right there. That's all I put in Google was Susan Dell in the first subreddit that pops up. What happened to Susan Dell's face? But here, to credit where credit is due, she and her husband with what's it called, the $1,000 baby
accounts,
thing. Yeah, good for them. Good for them. And I mean, they're doing something to help, and good for them. We just like to give her a little grief because
the little grief. Yeah.
How can you not? How can you not? Let's see, because if you ignore that, people are going to laugh at you. Back to Kevin Warsh and his fun facts. Number 4, he worked summers at a horse farm as a teen. It's in a small hometown. And number 5, he's deeply tied to Stanford's intellectual powerhouse, whatever the hell that is. What is
apparently,
that?
apparently he and Mrs. Warsh met at Stanford. So that's where they went to, I believe it was undergraduate and maybe even graduate school as well.
Let's see. Warsh returned as the Shepherd Family Distinguished Visiting Fellow at the Hoover Institution and lecturer at the Stanford Graduate School of Business, blending his policy expertise with academia in one of the country's top think tank environments. So there you go. That's what we know about Kevin Warsh. so far. So we'll see if this is a good thing, if it's not a good thing, if it's. Did you say? And I can't remember. I'm sorry now. Did you say it was kind of a wash?
Yeah, I think it's a wash. Like I said, the problem is going to be, and this is the issue. A lot of the folks who believe in the Federal Reserve, and I do not believe in the Federal Reserve. It's a terrible idea. Fractional reserve banking has always been a failure, and we are living through an example of that failure right now. But they believe that the Federal Reserve has the ability to influence inflation. It does not have the ability to influence inflation. What the Federal Reserve does have the ability to do is influence what you pay for your everyday needs, because of their ability to control the money supply and set a benchmark for lending. And this is the issue. Why do we need the Federal Reserve to set a benchmark for lending? There are plenty of things out there that have privately set benchmarks. LIBOR, if you remember that scandal, was a privately set benchmark. Crude, was it natural gas? The Cushing Junction, whatever that is, out there in Oklahoma, that's they use a benchmark for pricing. So money, interest rates is just a price in the use of money, and that can be set privately too. We don't need the Federal Reserve to do it.
However, let's be intellectually honest with each other and know that because the Fed is run by rich people, and the Fed and the government, for that matter, is people with a lot of money have a lot, if not all, of the sway. And so the Fed isn't going anywhere anytime soon, unless something happens that affects the way people with a lot of money get to play with their money. I mean, that's the only thing that'll make the Fed go away.
President Bell will end the Fed. All right. Promise right here. You've got it on tape. President Bell will end the Fed. There you go.
I'm just going to tell you, remember what they did to JFK, remember what they did to MLK, remember what they did to RFK, what they tried to do to Trump, and what they did to Malcolm X. Just remember that when you go to try to stop it. And that's the problem. I mean, seriously, that if you think about it, that's the problem. That's right there.
That's true.
Is that they are not afraid to take you out. And they will attempt. It's a miracle they haven't taken out Trump. It truly is that they have not been able to make him assume room temperature. It's stunning, quite frankly.
Well,
you think?
They got very close. You know, that thing in Pennsylvania, they got very close, and it really is a God-given miracle that it didn't happen there.
Uh-huh.
The reason why I think they are not continuing to attempt it, at least not publicly, is that they know what type of destabilization would happen. And if you think Minnesota is bad, think about what happened if all of us realized what they were up to. That would be an even bigger problem. And that's an even bigger threat to them right now than what Trump might do.
Yeah, that would be, again, if they find somehow to get a black victim up in Minnesota, that would be George Floyd on steroids. If they were able to take out Trump, that would be George Floyd on steroids times an infinite number, and it would be all the other people coming out that would not.
Yep.
It wouldn't be pleasant. It would not be pleasant, but that would be our George Floyd, and it would not be a good thing for anybody, quite frankly. But
Plus,
if they took out Trump, they'd get J.D. Vance, and if they took him out too, they'd get Mike Johnson. So they don't win by taking Trump out.
It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about the fact that they would try to take him out. Because I don't think they think that far ahead. They just they weren't thinking that far ahead in Butler.
Yeah.
And in a way, they did take him out once, and that was 2020, right? So they showed us in 2020, look, we have the power to control what's going on. We will control it, not you. Now, of course, we fixed some of the problems for 2024, but that's what 2020 was all about. That's what, because I'm never gonna back down from saying that 2020 election was stolen. And so you're right, Ron. They aren't, it doesn't get any better for them, but the idea is to send a message. And that's also why I think Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I think that was more to send a message to Trump than anything else.
Yeah. Sadly, I have not I have not thought about that situation in a while. Tyler Robinson, who is he the guy who did it, or is he a patsy?
So I want to be really clear in how I say this. I am not going down the road of Candace Owens, right? I'm not going there. Not doing it. I gotta say that because I know somebody's gonna say, well, Phil, you said that. But I do think there was more to it than just him being out there with a gun. I think some of the things some of the points that have been raised, such as the difficulty and the time that it's going to take to disassemble the weapon as they suggested, some of the videos and so forth. I don't think it all necessarily points to him as being the only person. I think there was much more behind that. I think there was much more that we don't know and we haven't been told, and that there really does need to be a deep investigation. And even if we don't know, never get all that info, I hope that President Trump and his team know, because it's important to keep him safe, the rest of our cabinet secretaries, and make sure that they aren't able to go a step further.
Right. And what's happening right now is like what I just said. I have not thought about that situation in a while. Meanwhile, everything is simmering, is cooling off. And as time passes between the event and us in present time, things start to fade out. Memories start to fade. Evidence may or may not disappear. And all they have to do is really outlive the current legal system, the people in charge, and if the next round of people get in there, may or may not vehemently go after Robinson, may or may not pursue the same course of facts, and they know that. That's what always happens in a situation like this, is they just stretch out the process. If they don't immediately take out the person who committed the crime, or may not have, if they don't immediately erase him from history, then they just stretch the thing out until they're at a point in time where people are like, oh, that's right, I forgot Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Whatever happened. And because so much else is happening.
And that's what they did with Butler. How many people asked the question about how did Butler happen? What kind of precautions have been taken place since? Who was behind it? How was this kid, this nobody, who was apparently even a nobody amongst his limited group of people associated with him, how was he able to position himself like this? And again, how was he able to get up there in the first place? If you and I were, all three of us said, all right, look, we love Trump, which of course we do. We want to go. We want to have this great vantage point. Let's take our cooler up there with some beers, and we're going to hang out and just like support the president and look down from the top of this little shed or whatever it was. They would have come and gotten us. Hey, guys, you can't be up there.
Absolutely.
It would have been like that. But he's able to get up there with a gun. Come on. We need answers.
It'll be like, I'm looking in the if you Google his name and investigation, Matthew Crook's investigation, the only news comes up is at minimum a couple of months old. And one of them is FBI confirms lone gunman in assassination attempt on Trump. Extensive probe reveals. That was November 21st of last year. And it will end up being much like it was with the Vegas shooting. Remember how that quietly just faded away after about a year, and the FBI came out and said, yeah, we don't know. Yeah, and case closed. Moving on.
And
we never...
That was one of the best things the crazy left could have used for gun control, and they let it go.
Yeah. Oh, it was. And the only people who've really dug deep into that, Mindy, MF, and Robinson, and there's somebody else. But she, by far, has done the best job. Mindy Robinson's documentary on that is fabulous. And there is so much that people don't know about the Vegas shooting, about the aircraft that had their transponders turned off, about the helicopters, about the timeline of when Paddock assumed room temperature, about the fact that he'd been dead for apparently a long time when they walked in, staged evidence, I mean, it is that whole case is so full of holes, no pun intended, that it's almost laughable.
And one other question: how is it he was able to bring so much of that in? Now, I remember, I know it's not exactly congruent, but some of my friends decided to throw a party at CPAC one year. And of course, we don't want to pay all the fees for the hotel catering. So we had had people bring in pizza. Well, guess what? It didn't take that long before the hotel management came up, knock, hey, they didn't have a problem with us being loud. They didn't have a problem with us drinking. They had a problem with the fact that we did not pay them for the food. So how is it that he was able to bring in all this stuff? No one asked any questions. No one was like, hey, isn't it odd? He's bringing all this stuff in here. It's just him, only him. There's no one else in that room. How did that happen? Oh no, It's no problem.
Yeah. And the answer to why he brought all that stuff in there is that's what you do when you're arranging an arms deal. It's not what you do when you're going to try to pick off some people at a concert. What you do in that case is you bring in a rifle or two and a shitload of ammo. I know he had a shitload of ammo, but he also had a shitload of weapons, which made zero sense to have all those. I mean, in retrospect, you look at it and it's like any moron with, any common sense can look at that and go, no, this was not what they were. And then chief of police out there, but he wasn't chief of police, was he? Was he sheriff? Whatever. Anyway, they move him off to a plum assignment in Lahaina. I don't know if that was coincidence or if it was planned to have him in Lahaina with the fire. I don't know if that was just shitty luck, or if, because I still don't know exactly what happened in Lahaina. And that's another one. That's another one. There'd be the land grab over there by the government in California.
And California,
Pacific Palisades. It's just, it's everywhere. But the problem is we are being inundated, overwhelmed by news. There's so much happening, going on, that it's impossible to keep up with it. Impossible.
Agreed completely. And that's why I like programs like this, because you and Ron do such a good job of presenting it.
Mostly me.
Well, you do it in an enjoyable way, and you do it in a way that people have the ability to think. And also, just like Rush, taking the original source material, putting it up there so that people can see that, they can read it, they know where to go, and they can make their own decisions. That's so critical, rather than just, here's what you're supposed to believe, accept it and move on.
I just do that just to make sure Ron hasn't fallen asleep.
I'm here. Goofus.
Woke you up, didn't I? All right, real quickly, the starter homes, because money, speaking of homes and money, kind of put a bow on it all. When I saw the starter homes priced under $300,000 have vanished in dozens of U.S. cities. And it's like, starter homes, $300,000. Man, that's an expensive starter home, but looks like we don't have to worry about it anyway, right?
I suggested this because the main thrust of the article is that it's so closely related to interest rates, and that the higher the interest rates are, the fewer of these homes you see on the market. Why is that? Because if I've got a house, doesn't matter, I paid $250,000 for the house, let's say, and I got a 5% mortgage. Well, guess what? If I'm going to get a new house and I might have to pay 7 in the next one, well, number one, I can't afford as much house. A, but B, why would I leave such a good deal if the next deal is automatically going to start off and be poor? And that's the reason why you haven't seen so many, because traditionally you might live in an apartment and you get that first home. It's small. You trade up, you trade up, you trade up. Well, now it's hard to trade up because Powell jacked up the interest rates. We need Warsh to bring them down to reopen this market.
I had a line I was going to use there, and better, my good taste actually won out, and I didn't use it. Good for me. Phil Bell, ladies and gentlemen, you can go over to All Things Trains. What's happening there?
So tomorrow, actually heading out to the Timonium train show. So there's going to be a new post up there. Love it.
Sorry,
so
I know that's in your contract. We have to blow the whistle every time we.
Well, if you're in Timonium near Baltimore, come see me. I should be there from noon till about 2. It's going to be a great event up there. And we're going to be adding a few new things to the website, including our most recent podcast about the Columbus and Greenville Railway. Also, on our YouTube, we got up over 1,800 subscribers. So thanks to everybody who follows me out there as well.
Very, very nice. And I just noticed where Bitcoin is at 83. It needs to go back up. All right, my friend, go out there and get them before they get you, and we will talk again next week. Phil Bell, ladies and gentlemen. And more of the Daily Mojo is, I can see it right over there.
Oh! Boots on the floor, coffee in hand, spin that dial, we start the band. Boots, check. Keys, check. Attitude, check. We'll take it from here. Sun comes up, headlines burn, mic goes live, we take our turn. Bradley J. Staggs laughing at the seams, talking big talk about big wild Daily Mojo. Bang that drum, chasing down that American dream. One job, one job, one job, one job. Wrong, you had one job wrong. Daily Mojo, beat that chest. Well, I was broke, we still believe. One job, one job, one job, one job wrong. We're chasing that American dream. The Daily Mojo. Daily Mojo.
Sponsor of this portion of the program is preparewithmojo50.com. When you go there, you will find your emergency food supply, which if you haven't purchased it yet, seriously, what are you waiting for? Do it today, do it this week, do it next week, but just do it today. See, that's the problem. Unless you write it down on a Post-it note and keep yourself on top of things, you will forget. And then next time we have a snowstorm or an electrical outage, you go, son of, I should have done it and I didn't. Just do it today. Go to preparewithmojo50.com. That you don't have to enter a promo code or anything like that. It gets you the deal automatically, and you will be prepared for the next wacky weather or man-made crap show that happens. Preparewithmojo50.com. Chenzo 125. Phil will be moisturizing Big Gretch. Okay. Everybody needs moisturization, right? You don't want to dry out, do you? No. As what happens then is you get old and dried out, and that is no fun whatsoever. Mama Bear 731 says, do you think the Dells gave that money willingly? Trump has something over them. Good for Trump putting bad money to a good cause. Don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I was going to say Trump doesn't strike me as the guy. I don't think Trump would do something maliciously, and this is just my opinion. Ought to be yours. But I don't think he would outright do something maliciously to somebody unless it was they came at him first, and he would be like, well, you know what, you don't do that without a price. And so I don't know if Michael Dell did something in this, but no, that hadn't really even crossed my mind. I mean, I'm glad they did it. And Nicki Minaj, didn't she pay a bunch of money
just
into
recently? It? Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and if the numbers, I heard something about the numbers yesterday, and it was like, man, you could, if you start that now, your kid could have some serious coin by the time they're 30 or something. It's worth looking into if you've got kids, especially if you're starting out. So good and then the best time to start saving is when, Ron?
What? Best time to start
saving?
Best
time to start saving.
Now?
Mm-hmm. Last week.
Oh, last week. Yeah.
Second best time?
Today.
Yes.
Let's see. I was looking at the numbers. It looks like 25 million accounts supported by 6.25 billion charitable donations.
There you go. Wow. So look into it. It is, it's good to, and it's that story about the starter homes, $300,000 starter homes, harder to come by.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine as it's tough enough being old and not having any money. I can't imagine being young and not having any money. Kids, stay in school, save money. And if you think you want a career in radio, no.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. No.
I've been out of apartment living for so long now that when my daughter told me what she pays for her apartment, which is basically a 1-bedroom or studio apartment, I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? I remember in the late 90s, Misty and I and the kids lived in a 3-bedroom apartment. It was $795 a month. Now for like 1-bedroom apartments, they're paying over $2,000 a month.
Don't ask me why I remember this, but in 1975, we lived in Lancaster, California. The address is 44044 Beach Avenue apartment. H?
Funny how you remember those things.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
946-2783 was our phone number. And the rent, which is weird that I would know because my mom and dad never told me.
I started saying you
like
didn't
that.
have anything to do with the rent then. But
No,
you know
I didn't.
what
I
it
was in fifth
yeah.
grade in 1975. That apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, was, when we moved in, $165 a month.
And they struggled, right?
That was a lot of money.
And they struggled back then. My mom and dad bought the first house here in this town in 1968 and it's like a 1,200 square foot house for $14,500.
And that's a lot of money too.
$112 a month, and they could barely hold it together. That's nuts to me, dude.
I remember when the rent went up to $185 a month, and it was soon after that they. I was in 9th grade when they bought the house on Avenue K, which my dad, at that time would have been 1979, bought that house on Avenue K for $79,000, may have been 50-something thousand. I'm looking it up on Zillow right now to see what the approximate price is. It's the house still exists. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, 2,630 square feet on 5 acres. And it is $482,800, and it's not much to look at, and it's in the middle of where I was laughing with David G the other day because we used to think that I lived in BF Egypt. We were 2.5 miles, 2548 East Avenue K was 2.5 miles from Division, which was kind of the main street in the town. 2.5 miles off of Division.
That was the country back then.
That was 2.5 miles. I lived in BF Egypt. 2.5 miles. I mean, hell, Lowe's is farther away from me than that right now. Home Depot, it's like our sense of scale and money and everything else was just completely different. This is the reason this caught my eye, and I mentioned her yesterday. Excuse me, I mentioned them yesterday.
Oh.
And you said you knew who I've never seen
this
her before.
I've seen this photo before. I don't know who that is.
Her?
Yeah.
Them? They?
Is she
It's a her! You're not a they! That would mean there would be 2 of you!
What is her name? I'll look it up and see if I can remember what the story was.
Jocelyn. I don't know. Something Jocelyn. Patty Gonia, who is the drag queen who started that's how it all caught my eye. Patty Gonia, who's the drag queen who started the GoFundMe for, let's see. What the hell is her name? I guess it's over here. If I click on this one, we will see. SJ.
SJ
Shannon Jocelyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's she was a park ranger in Yosemite, and she got in trouble for climbing El Capitan and hanging a transgender flag off of El Capitan. Now, a lot of people do that. A lot of people go up, but you have to have a permit to hang a banner or a sign or something like that off of El Cap. It catches people's attention, obviously, but they require you to have a permit to do that. And good. I mean, if you're going to hang a banner, if you're going to do something like that, that takes resources, I can see having to have a permit.
There's our banner hanging on El Capitan.
Right. And
that may be where she was in the news, so maybe that's where I saw her photo.
Yeah. And so she and friends of hers went up on their day off, and I notice I'm using they on their day off because it's several of them. And they hung this, and so she got called into the office. Now, there's a lot of stuff that they don't tell you in the story that I just am. You have to read between the lines. It was back in August. She's a wildlife biologist and ranger at Yosemite. She lost her job after helping unfurl a massive transgender pride flag on the sheer granite face of El Cap. In Yosemite, displaying flags is a time-honored tradition dating back decades, according to the story over at Outside Magazine. Jocelyn, who is non-binary, uses they-them pronouns, is the first person to get fired from the park for the act of hanging the banner. She told Outside what it was like to lose her dream job. Well, it says there, and it's too confusing. It had been more than a week since we'd hung the flag, and I'd heard nothing but positive feedback. Then I got the email. It was from a chief ranger who from a different national park who's in charge of investigating my actions. I thought it was strange. I hadn't done anything wrong. I'd hung it on my day off with some of my climbing friends. We'd gotten the proper permit to spend the night on the wall. We'd used cams and nuts and carabiners, the same stuff big wall climbers use to rig the flag, and we left no trace. We took everything back down with us. They called me into the fort, which is where the jail is in Yosemite. That is her up on the side of El Cap. I think it could be
that's where she was hanging the flag. It looks like that's in the background there. So.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There it is. So that's the view from El Cap, which, boy, do I have no desire to do that whatsoever. That's presumably where all the interrogations happened. They read me my rights. I asked if I was a subject of a criminal investigation. They said yes. It was surreal. There's a long history of visitors and employees hanging flags on El Cap. The employees who were associated with putting up any of the other flags didn't get punished. I declined to be interviewed because if you're called in for a criminal interview, that interview is volunteered information. Then I exited the building. I got called back again the next week for an administrative interview. Those interviews are mandatory. If you're a federal employee, you have to comply with an administrative interview. But I did ask if I could have a legal counsel present. They said yes. They asked me a bunch of different questions. They asked me if I left glue on the rock face, and I said I didn't use glue. They asked if I got monetary compensation for hanging the flag, which I did not. One of my friends who helped do it was Patty Gonia, aforementioned drag queen and activist. They asked me if I gave Patty Gonia the flat-brimmed hat that she wore in the photos that she had posted on Instagram, which I did not. They asked if I planned anything on work time, and I didn't. They asked a lot of questions that made a lot of assumptions. I think that's the key right there. That's the sentence in this story that makes me go,
Is this Patty Gonia?
Yep.
Holy cow.
No, drag queen.
Wow.
They asked if I'd planned anything on work time, and I didn't. I mean, if you want to dress like whatever that is, okay. I don't have a problem with it. And they asked a lot of questions that made a lot of assumptions. At that point, I knew what they were trying to get me on, having a demonstration outside of a First Amendment zone, which, again, we saw that recently with Caitlin Bennett. So I told the investigator that I had never called it a demonstration, and I hadn't. I had called it a celebration, if anything. Then I waited. I went back to my work at Yosemite. I supervise the Big Wall Bat program, and I do data management for terrestrial wildlife. She is a biologist. So, again, by all accounts, I don't know that you can become a biologist and be stupid. I would say you probably have to have a brain to become a biologist. I don't know. In my spare time, I looked up the recommended punishment for having a demonstration in a non-First Amendment area. For a first-time offense, it's a written reprimand. For a second-time offense, it's a 1 to 5 day suspension. So in my mind, the worst that could happen to me would be a 5-day suspension. Never even occurred to me that they would fire me. A couple months later, I got the request for an in-person meeting with the acting deputy superintendent. I knew then that something serious was going to happen because they don't waste their time with low-level employees. But like me, I was petrified. Don't know how much you know about park rangers, but our whole lives are our jobs. She's got that backwards. Yosemite is my home, and it's my whole identity. I'm a biologist, so I'm primarily there to support wildlife, but I do so much more. I write climbing guidebooks to the park. I help out with regular, everyday park processes. I've gotten all those certifications, Swiftwater Rescue Technician, Search and Rescue Tech. I can participate in as many things as possible. I'm a wildland firefighter. My meeting was August 12th. They handed me the termination letter for failure to demonstrate acceptable conduct. The investigation found that I had violated a National Park Service rule that prohibits demonstrations outside of designated park areas for First Amendment activities. At first, I was dealing with this huge sense of loss, this emptiness. Now it's shifted to anger. I'm fighting this. The story says National Park Service is pursuing administrative action against multiple National Park Service employees for failing to follow National Park Service regulations. They wouldn't comment on the story. Did she deserve to be fired? There's more to this. It certainly seems like it. Because if that's all there is to the story, did she deserve to be fired for that? If other people have hung up banners in the park and then taken them down, which I think they have. I mean, I can't give you a specific instance of it, but it doesn't sound unreasonable. There has to be more. If there's not more, did she deserve? Excuse me. Nope. Did she deserve to be fired for that? Because on the face of it, I'd say no. Didn't deserve to be fired for hanging up a banner any more than, I mean, if other employees have done that, then, I mean, I don't agree with the transgender flag, but, you know, it's, if you're going to call a spade.
Maybe she would have gotten the same if she had hung an American flag up there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but maybe. And let's see. Earlier in 2025, several unauthorized demonstrations involving El Capitan generated numerous complaints from visitors. Yosemite National Park was designated by Congress to highlight the beautiful natural and cultural features of the area, no matter the cause, displaying signs, banners, flags outside of the designated First Amendment areas detract from the visitor experience and the protection of the park. To safeguard the protection of visitors' experiences and park resources, most demonstrations require a permit. So that's the Park Service's stance on it. And that what we saw with Caitlin Bennett. You got to be over there. Now, Caitlin Bennett, I think, was acting as press.
Yeah, as
biased.
A journalist.
You can even make the argument biased.
Yeah.
She was biased press. Right? But, I mean, everybody, show me somebody on the left who is press and who isn't biased press. You make that argument. You know, they gave her the citation for not being in the First Amendment zone. And I didn't think that was right. And I think they're still holding that thing. No word that that's been dismissed, right?
Not yet.
That you've seen. Yeah. So, should this woman have been fired? Or whatever the hell she is. Freebie 38 says she's only giving her side of the story and employers can tell their side. Except her employer is the National Park Service. And generally speaking, you know, it's the legal situation where we can't comment on personnel issues. Because that's what they all do. But technically she's our employee. And should our employee have been fired for, what did they say? Conduct, whatever the words were. National Park Service rule that prohibits demonstrations outside. There was something else that they said. Failure to demonstrate acceptable conduct. My gut tells me that there is more, that she's leaving out a chunk, that there's something else in there that, you should have said something. It's like the Preddy thing. We found out the other, well, look at that. Look what else he did. Now, which, means, back to the Preddy situation, he was a known quantity. He was a known entity, too.
I'm going to stand by my statement that in the second run-in, they knew he had a gun on him and that one guy went in there to get it. I'm going to stand by that statement because I think they saw it on the first run-in, and they knew it was him. So one of those agents knew he had a gun and went in to get it.
Yeah, I don't think that's been disputed.
The guy that carried his gun off. I think he knew he had the gun on him.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him go across the street and get it. But does that, again, who made the first shot? That's still, I guess, being debated. Was it the SIG? If it did that just set everybody's nerves on edge even more than they already were? And then you got to ask why. And the guy who fired the shots, I guess, is on administrative leave at this point. But why 10 shots? It just seems, I don't know, to me. Again, if you have common sense, you're like,
I heard a video yesterday, or watched a video yesterday, where they explained that when you fire your weapon as a police officer, you're firing to kill, period. And therefore, that's why in every video you see them completely unload their magazine. So it's not just a one-shot kind of thing.
Say that again. Who put the video out?
It was it Cam Higbee? It was a Cam Higbee interview. He's like,
they're trained to kill?
They're trained that if they're going to fire their weapon, to stop the threat, i.e., shoot as many times as they think they need to.
Counter argument.
Not just one.
Guys on the ground. It took 10 shots to take him. He's already down.
I'm not saying that's not the case.
Yeah, I know. It's and I wasn't there, so I don't know. He may have had a little pistol up his sleeve, and he may have been pointing it. I don't know what happened, and that's the problem. So, but you have to look at all these situations, and the fact of the matter is, do we ever get full disclosure on everything? Hell to the no. But that's why we're here.
What do you mean it's last call?
To muddy the waters as much as humanly possible so that no one knows what the hell's going on. No, wait, that's not what we do. We try to bring a little clarity to the situation. It's places like Don Lemon and CNN that do the other. This has been 2 hours of audio deliciousness and clarity, quite frankly, from a stunning vantage point. We call it the Daily Mojo on a daily basis, and we like to find out if anybody learned anything on this Friday, the 30th of January. Over in the Rumble chat room, Hobo Joe 61 says maybe she was fired because she's mentally ill. She thinks she is a they, them. That's the pronoun thing. Like I said, homie, don't play that game because that's a stupid game. Man, I'm not going to play a stupid game. Not going to do it. All right. If there's three of you, you're they. Otherwise, shut the hell up. Lef says, on Sunday, he's having another episode of H.O. Peach. Pirates? He's going to talk about pirates? Arr. Peekapool says, drag queen? I think you mean woman-face performer. That wasn't even that's not even a woman-face performer. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
That was like the Gorn. That was like, and I didn't get to it. I want to talk about the Gorn next week. Because have you seen the new Gorn?
I have not.
You know what the Gorn looks like?
I do not. Sorry, buddy.
Okay. I'm not. No judgment. Loser. See, over in the Daily Mojo chat room, a whole bunch of memes. Deb, I was thinking about you this morning. Think so too, Ron, she says.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I'll be around this afternoon with Keith and the Norks and maybe Kelly. In the meantime, remember that we the people must hang together, otherwise we shall surely hang separately. 6 separate Tyrannus, resist stupid, and good night, who?
Doc Thompson, wherever you are. Love you. Have a good weekend.
And listen at thedailymojo.com.